You clicked on this because you want to learn makeup. I'm going to make this as simple as possible. Let's do it. To make this as easy as possible, I'll explain what each item is called and how to use it. So let's do our best. The only item I'm going to assume you already know about is sunscreen. I mean, any sunscreen works. You can literally just grab whatever sunscreen you already might have and just put sunscreen on your face. It's not that crazy, luckily. This right here is a primer. All a primer is basically preparing your face for makeup to be placed on it. Simply put, consider it like a shield that protects your skin from the makeup you're about to put on the face. It's quite literally priming the canvas. That's why the same word is used here. So all we have to do is, like the sunscreen, get a liquid primer or any other type of primer. Just put a little bit. Oh, we just gotta put a little bit on our finger. Close the lid, and all we're gonna do is smush our hands together and place the primer on our face. No specifics to it. You just want to put it all over your face so that you're protecting your face. Up next is foundation. You might have heard of this one before. It comes in a few forms, liquid and powder. I find liquid easy to use, but it's just the consistency that the makeup product is in. It does the same thing. All foundation does is smooth out the skin and make it seem like one shade, instead of like little bumps and imperfections. Just consider this the main step before doing the fancy stuff, right? It quite literally sets the main look, right? It just smooths out the skin. I'll show you. So, we're just gonna put a little bit on my finger here, just a little bit, nothing crazy. And I'm gonna look at this little mirror that I placed under the camera that you can't see. Now, as you can see, I have placed little dots across my face. It looks ridiculous. Looks like I'm in like one of those video game mocap suits. But what this does is just evenly distributes foundation throughout the face so that we can then brush around and smooth it all together. There's no crazy technique to this, though if you have a lot of facial hair, I was told that stroking downwards with the brush actually works out a bit better and prevents the hairs from being as visible. However, I actually don't know how true that is. I was told this a very long time ago. But anecdotally, that's what you do. As you can see, that technique has been built into my muscle memory. I'm just used to doing that. All you gotta do is try to think of your face like a little drawing and you're just coloring it in. We just want the foundation throughout the face and look really smooth. I'll place some footage of me from a few seconds ago so you can see the rough difference. But this is basically what foundation does. It just smooths it out and makes it just look really nice. For most people, you actually don't need to do any more than that. Just simply having sunscreen, primer, foundation, that's enough. Sunscreen protects the skin, primer keeps the makeup on and not slide off, and foundation just rounds out the face to look all fancy. A lot of camera filters will actually make it look like you have foundation on, so if you've ever used one of those like face app things to like look more femme, chances are what the app's doing is making it look like you have really smooth foundation on. When using foundation, you actually have the option to either use a brush, a makeup sponge, or your hands. It doesn't matter which. There's a lot of people that tell you not to use your hands. It really doesn't matter. I like using the brush though. A lot of brushes are pretty well labeled nowadays. Just search foundation brush and you'll find what you need. Or if you want a brush for something else, just search that thing brush and you'll probably get it. For people getting into makeup the first time, I think lipstick is inherently very exciting and fun, right? So I'll explain how to use lipstick now, right? Lipstick is just a thing that goes in your mouth to make it look a little different, like a different color. You can either get it as a matte lipstick like this, or as a lip gloss. A lip gloss is a bit shinier, a bit more sleek, and a little more subtle, whereas a matte lipstick's pretty hardcore, right? You can use whichever you like. I just happen to own a matte lipstick, so that's what I'm gonna use in this tutorial. Just keep in mind, using a lipstick and then the eye makeup that I'm about to show you is a bit full on. Like a coloring book, you wanna make sure you draw all the way across the lip, right? You wanna make sure you don't miss the top lip too. Issue is, if you draw outside the line, it will look a bit smushed. Now there are makeup looks where you would draw outside the lip, but you don't really need that. I've had some tips of drawing a line a bit above your lip at the top to make your lip closer to your nose to look more femme. However, I never found too much luck or success doing this, so it's up to you. And as you can see, the bottom lip is quite lipsticked, right? So now we're just gonna do like that lip pucker thing you've seen in movies. We're all smushed together. Now, we have some bits missing, so we're just gonna try and do that real quick. This is eyelid primer. Similar to the primer from earlier for the whole face, this one's more for the eyelids. All you gotta do is just get some kind of eyelid primer. Maybe it's probably a liquid, maybe it's not a liquid. I've only used liquids. All it is putting a little bit on your finger and just placing it on, well, your eyelids, right? I know, shocker. Now, doing this is a little awkward the first time. For example, I just missed. You've likely seen these before in like movies or in real life. This is an eyeshadow palette. All this is just a bunch of eyeshadows in a palette, so there's just a lot of them. There's a little mirror too, so it's nice and convenient. So all we gotta do is we just gotta pick a little color. In this case, I'll just pick the pink one. And all you gotta do is place it on, well, your eyelids, right? Now bear in mind, I have hooded eyes, which just means it's a slight crease, which makes this a little difficult. Just close the eye slightly and place it on there. Yeah. It's not gonna show up very well on the camera because I'm not putting that much on. I feel like if I did too much, it'd be a little caked on. My general tip I've learned is if you do something crazy with the mouth, try to make the eye look very simple. Or if you do a super dramatic eye look, try to make the lips very simple. Because this is a makeup tutorial on YouTube, I'm not going to do that. The last thing I'll show you how to use is eyeliner. Just keep in mind this is significantly harder than the other steps in this process. Will I get it first try on camera? We're going to find out. Simply put, this is a liquid eyeliner, and like I mentioned before, eyeliner comes in many forms. In this case, we have liquid ones and ones that are a bit more like a pencil, right? The pencils are a little more forgiving. The liquid ones though, yeah, if you mess up, you gotta start over. Like the whole look. How the heck am I gonna do this with the mirror under the camera? Okay. Okay, let's find out. So simply put, I'm gonna place it right here at the corner of the eyelid and slide it up a little bit. So there's like a little bit of a line. And now I'm just gonna make a little shape here. I think they refer to this as like a cat eye thing. I don't know why, but this is the usual look with eyeliner. The line. General tip of eyeliner is you want to have little bits of eyeliner wherever there's eyelashes. If you get to the point of the eye, near the center where there's no more eyelash, you probably don't want to draw a line there unless you're going for a more extreme look or like a gothic look. Right, in this case, I'm just following where the eyelash ends, and then that's where my line ends. I'm not bothering with eyeliner on the lower eye, as this is significantly more difficult, and thus the end result. Overall, I think it's pretty solid. I hope this video helped explain various makeup things, what they're called, how to use them, so you know how to get started. If you want to get into makeup, all you gotta do is go to some kind of makeup store that does delivery, or go in person, and simply type the things I mentioned, like writing a primer, a foundation, an eyeshadow if that interests you, an eyeliner, a lipstick, whatever, doesn't really matter. If you're watching this, you might be a bit secretive that you're even doing this, right? So let me show you how to get this stuff off. So this is our little makeup remover. It comes in a little liquid bottle, and you get these little pads here, and all you do is place the liquid onto I need to get a new one. Add some water to the pad and it'll start to get removed. Hope you enjoyed this video, lovely audience. I know like makeup is very intimidating, right? But you can do it. I believe in you. Be sure when you are removing makeup, you are using makeup remover. Water won't work as well as you think it would. And as a result, you will probably hear the car pull up and you'll be frantically trying to get the foundation off, but it won't. Yeah, you gotta use makeup remover. But hope you enjoyed this video, lovely audience. If you want to see more, be sure to hit the funny subscribe button, like button, that kind of thing. Whatever the hype button does. I don't even know what the hype button does, but it exists now. But yeah, if you want to see more trans-related content, be sure to subscribe as we post weekly. That's right, weekly. As always, stay hydrated and know that you are valid. I'll see you next week.